Star Report. I'm your host, Star. Monday evening, let's get down to business. Philly rapper YBC Dul shot and killed this past Friday, okay? This was the biggest or the most hated rapper in Philly, so they say. This is the moniker he liked, okay? Young Bag Chasers, YBC, that's what it stands for in case you don't know. His team, his crew. And he was talking hella crazy a day before he got gunned down on Brandon Buckingham's YouTube channel. Brandon Buckingham is one of these, I'm going to say hip hop, I'll even say journalist. It's a different day and time. He's very similar to 1090 Jake, Trap Law Ross. He's hip hop. Never mind the fact that he's Caucasian. YBC Dul was very accommodating, walking him through his hood in Philly and talking about activity, telling on himself literally. And the very next day, again, he got shot, died at the hospital, pardon me. I do want to say condolences to the family because I'm very, very connected in Philadelphia. I have nephews, nieces. One of my nephews just became a captain of police 2 months ago, and I have another cousin, retired first-class detective. So, you know, it's sad for me to see what Philly once was and what it has become. But hey, I can't clown the newer generation because for those of you who know Philly, two guys from my generation shot and killed a black female police officer in 1996. Cool C, who I knew and I promoted his music when I worked at WIA. Steady B, who snitched on Cool C. They're both doing life last time I checked. But it's kind of sad to see Philadelphia follow the drill rap trend. That's more so what I'm going to talk about. And for those who don't know, Philadelphia, in my opinion and the opinion of a lot of people, has always been the most culturally proud city in America. Would you agree? Troll babies, good evening. The most culturally proud, in spite of the fact that they are the home to the black mafia. Okay, we can go back that far if you like, but we have to smoke on his pack tonight. He loved the attention. He was talking hella crazy. And again, the interview that he did with Brandon Buckingham, he was talking about, I've never been shot, never been robbed, never been ran down on. And then the very next day, whammo. Okay. I've got some other notes as well with regards to some of the other young people going back 3 or 4 years, 4 or 5 years with regards to the gang wars in Philadelphia. It's different. It's different. And some of the parents I saw on Instagram applauding someone else getting shot in the head. I'll give you the name shortly because her son was killed. It's different now, and we can't blame the music because I like some drill rap. I like the music, and I have to listen to what the young people are saying, you know, not necessarily because I'm so entrenched in, drill rap like that, but I pay attention more so. That's why I listen to it, okay? Showrunner, give me a second to lay this out. Well, migrants force blacks to work together. Now, whatever black you claim to be, Caribbean black, African-American, FBA, but will migrants force blacks to work together here in America? They say history always repeats itself. For those of you who know your history, and most of you do, there was a time in this country when black people worked together. And if you don't know, they were forced because white people had all sorts of laws. You know this already, Jim Crow and other things. And they worked together very good, very well. So the migrants now who are coming in, they will continue coming in. And, you know, I'm a Trump supporter, but at the same time, Kamala, who many black people are supporting now, she has already said no reparations, and she's not doing anything to benefit blacks in particular. She said it. She said it in 2019 during a Griot interview. We've gone over that already. So will the migrants who are getting all sorts of vouchers, money to start businesses, accommodations, they're putting them in black neighborhoods for the most part. This is where if you haven't noticed, you see the white tents. Also, salute to Pink Book Lessons. You guys have heard me acknowledge her platform in the past. She does great work, and I like to acknowledge, if something motivates me. She did a video. Black Chicago residents are fed up. Illegals taking over Black middle-class neighborhoods. Great piece of content, okay? Now, Chicago in particular, I'm fed up with the Black people in Chicago. They're fed up with the illegals, but I'm fed up with them. The murder rates through the goddamn roof. Through the roof. And if there's one place in America that has had many, many prominent Black successful people, not necessarily leaders, but it's Chicago. Michael Jordan, Jesse Jackson, Barack Obama, Oprah Winfrey, Elijah Muhammad, and a host of others. A host of others. But they have the record numbers in killing each other. So will the migrants moving in force Blacks to work together? Now, that was a lot I just put on the table, but I want to at least mentally massage this. Will their handouts, if you will, from the U.S. government force Black people to work together? Something's got to give here. Something's got to give. They're coming, and they're going to keep coming. Florida Boy Jay, you're on the line. Let me get him in here early so we can pick up the pace a little bit. Florida Boy Jay, good evening, sir. YBC Dul, now deceased. You up to speed? Yes.
Hey, man, listen, another nigga who went on a campaign, a very effective, direct campaign, and finally got elected. And I think we should congratulate him and all of his cronies for getting elected and getting deleted this early. And I don't want to hear anybody calling, blaming the white man, blaming Adam 22, Blast for giving these niggas platforms. No, because if you watch the interview, this nigga went out of his way to call out all these hoods, say F them, they're not getting their get back, F these niggas, F that nigga. And my biggest problem when I was watching this video is one thing I hate the most is a scrawny, bird chest, dime-built, goofy nigga who's talking like they really got hands or they've been catching bodies in the street. He sounds like a nigga who hangs around the killers and gets the battery put in his back because he's the rapper, but he's not actually catching bodies. You know what I'm saying? And
hold on a second. For those who don't know, he went viral for doing what they were doing down in Jacksonville years ago. Yes, digging up the ops' graves. So he was a clone, if you will, right?
Absolutely, clout chasing off other niggas' ways, doing things to go like. And this is the problem with this generation. Niggas are ready to die to go viral. So let's get on in. Jump in the pool. If it's time to go, it's time to go. Natural selection is real. I'm excited every time one of these little niggas get clapped because it's just like Dr. Umar said. We can't psychologize all these niggas. Some of them have to be put for sleep for good. And I don't think he was an FBA either. I think this was a cosplaying tether with I think his full name, his government was Abdul. And like I said before, I'm just elated at the fact that he finally got what he wanted.
Abdul Vicks was his name. And I'm looking here at some of the other things that he has been involved in over the years. Did you know his music? Because what I heard about last year, I didn't think it was that creative, but they use rap music as a vehicle to promote the nonsense. And not saying he wouldn't have gotten better with time, but how did he become the front runner? Was it just by way of trolling and being called Mr. Disrespectful? How did he even become the top dog?
He really more went viral for the disrespect than his bars because his raps were a 2-pack of ass. So there was no reason to sit here and listen to his music. And then when you look at the nigga, it's not like he was really balling or had any type of motion for real. So, like what we looking at, my nigga? And just like what another guy said about Philly, Philly is real. They don't play diss records on the radio. I'm not going to sit here and talk about fake Muslims and this and that. Nigga, Philly is real, is grimy. If you want to talk about home of the haters, nigga, in Philly, you will die off of hate. You can't even be a fly nigga for real in Philly without niggas hating on you. You can't be the nigga getting hoes in Philly without niggas hating on you and trying to push your muffin cap back So with that even said, I would just advocate more native Philadelphians to be way more just, I don't even say humble, but just low key with how you move, knowing y'all history, especially with young niggas like
Let me jump in right there because salute to Cosmic Kev, my homie. He and I stay in touch. And he's the one that started that whole not playing beef records on the radio, DJ Cosmic Kev. Now, with regards to being humble, I don't see that happening now. I think the internet, allows the magnification, the promotion of the ignorance, and the young. Pardon me. The guy who I got to pull up his information here. He was shot and killed a while back, and his mother. Let me see if I can find the information. She was
on business.
What's that?
I said, mom stood on business.
Well, hang on a second. Okay, here it is. J1 after J100 YBC member was shot in the head shooting a music video. The mother of Kaylin Johnson, aka K3, who was murdered by YBC, she went live on IG, clapping and smiling about the killing. So I don't see it going back to what it used to be, a place where they had a common thread of decency. Again, Philly has always been known as the most culturally proud city in my mind, and to many others. So I think it's just totally out of control. But go ahead.
Yeah. And just like you said before, Philadelphia is rich with a lot of culture, especially music culture, especially R&B culture, jazz culture,
spoken word, spoken word,
yeah. Black libraries, just a wealth of Black knowledge in Philadelphia, and kind of to see the underclass of Black society usurp Philadelphia's rich history, to me, is also saddening. But at the same time, just like you another one of your questions, will migrants force Blacks to work together? If you think about it, Star, in some of these cities like them, Chicago, Atlanta, it seems like the historically Black prestige and the reputation has been falling to the wayside, and it's about time that the newer generation revamp that, because you can't just rest on what niggas are doing in the 50s and 60s in these Black historical cities to still hold down the same reputation.
Yeah. My showrunner, again, just a random question. Will migrants force Blacks to work together? Any thoughts on that? I mean, it's not a trending question or anything. I'm just, thinking. I was thinking today earlier about that, and a great piece of content that Pink Book Lessons did about Blacks in Chicago fed up with the illegals. But what were they doing, and what will they do? On their own. That's my question. Will they be forced to work together?
I think we will be forced to work together. And I also think that we should, and on a silver lining, be thanking the migrants for setting up a blueprint to show us that there is funds and allocations that can directly be put forth a certain group of people for an effort, for economic growth. We can't sit up here and say, oh, we don't have this money for reparations. We don't have this money to give these programs to Black Americans, when you're literally going in Oregon and giving people like $30,000 to buy new homes. You give people, you let these Venezuelans take over apartment complexes in Colorado. Mm-hmm. You got all these other things going on, all these resources being advocated, all these laws, these governments taking a blind eye. Black Americans, we need to be finding a blueprint, finding silver lining in the policies that are being put in place. And if people that aren't from this country can get these things without even demanding or asking for them, we should be able at least to, like I said, look at the blueprint and see what we can take from it to implement it, and when we make our demands.
Yeah. Hey, man, great to hear from you. You sent me a video this morning. I responded. Was that you or someone else who sent me the brawl in Las Vegas? You had the young bull.
Yeah, that was me.
The young bull knocked two old niggas down, and then you had the mammies. It was crazy. What was the backstory on that?
I couldn't find it, but I'm just gonna assume mammies was crashing out. OGs thought they was gonna step up to some young nigga. They was on that old 90s flow.
Oh,
Stella got her groove back energy. And the young nigga Young nigga put him to sleep. And salute to the real MVP star was a cameraman who zoomed up on the old niggas knocked out to let you see.
Yeah, old niggas are bleeding, but listen. Okay, listen. If you find the backstory, let me know, man. When are you going live again?
Man, we going live tomorrow, man. We going live. I don't know where my producer is. He MIA. I'm gonna have to hit him up tomorrow. But we gonna see. And lastly, Star. Hey man, we gonna kick these tethers back in at any point, at any time, whenever they want smoke. We gonna kick they back in, man. I appreciated Friday's show. We got a lot of good calls from both sides of the party.
Well, hang on a second, because here's Sunday sending a donation, clapping at you. Sunday, do you want to call in and speak to Florida Boy J? I don't relay messages. But you're welcome to call.
Sunday don't want no smoke. We packed Sunday up so bad the other night. Then Janet came through and spit on the grave. Listen, I buried old girl. And Janet did what YBC Dul did and dug up the dead body and then spit on it and threw it back in the dirt. We don't need no more victims calling in.
All right. Well, keep listening, because if Sunday calls in and she wants to speak to you, I'm sure you'll be able to accommodate her again.
I'll put her in the headlock. Just let me know. I'll be on call. All right, she won't call in, but I'll be tapped in.
Great to talk to you, man. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Florida Boy J tapping in. Somebody, I think this is a person from the Philadelphia area. 267, sit tight. You're up next. 267. Let me give a little bit more context with regards to my showrunner. Will migrants force blacks to work together here in America? Something has to give. You can call them illegals, migrants. They're coming. They are getting shelter, food. I see them, as do you sometimes in supermarkets and other things, loaded. Shopping carts loaded. If they're here to work, okay. I'm a capitalist. I'll work with anybody, but I have to ask the question, will migrants force blacks to work together? Salute to Dr. Claude Anderson. Someone sent me a clip, because I'm not a Breakfast Club watcher, but he was on the Breakfast Club, I guess maybe in the last year or so, and he spoke about there's no more black communities in America, something I've been saying for decades. Some people, when I say it, oh, no, that's not true. He did a great breakdown. He said that there are black neighborhoods, but no communities. Dick Gregory is the person who, decades ago, who, when he was talking about it, I did a little research and I said, okay, he's right, Dick Gregory. But Claude Anderson has also said there's no such thing as a black community in today's day and time. But call in if you will, with regards to the showrunner. I would like to discuss this a little bit more. Area code 267. Good evening. You're calling in from Philadelphia. 267.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Long time. How's it going?
Hey, man. How are you?
Good. It's Rory.
Okay, which Rory, sir? I don't.
From shot 97.
Okay, from way back. Wow, man. Good to hear from you. How's it going?
Good, man. How you?
I'm good. So, YBC Dul, he's now deceased, and he wanted all the smoke. He loved the attention. He was known as Mr. Disrespectful. A day after he did the interview with Brandon Buckingham, he gets gunned down. Are you up to speed on the story?
Yeah, man. I lived in YBC Hood for about 2 years.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I'm familiar with them guys, man. Okay. I know all about the story.
Okay.
Yeah. So Philadelphia right now is very depressing place. I had to get out of there. You know what I mean? But I'm probably like maybe 5 minutes from where I used to be, but I'm out of that area. So yeah, man, that was one of my favorite actually artists, up and coming artists out of the city.
Really?
Along with OTC Kwani.
Okay.
And I understand what you were saying, man, when you said it's not compared to Bronx drill. But you know what I mean, he was getting better over time. And I was seeing a lot of growth in his music, man. But I want to say, man, the war out here is real. It's real in the field, man. So them cats was really about their life.
Yeah, and I can't just kick dirt on the younger generation because, Philadelphia is home of the Black Mafia. Samuel Christian, for those who don't know, born in 1939. He passed away in 2016. And, there's history in Philadelphia. But at the same time, I've got so much so many beautiful memories from the 70s, the 80s, the 90s. I used to go to Dowling's Palace back in 2010, 2011 to hear spoken word. I mean, you heard of Dowling's Palace, yes?
No, not familiar with that.
Okay. A lot of spoken word artists, bands, and I used to bring them on the Star and Buck Wild show when I was on 100.3 The Beat. So there's a genuine appreciation and just love for that place, man. But at the same time, you know, this young man, he was talking hella crazy. Has his mother spoken up? I want to be, you know, as respectful as I can, but has she chimed in? I know his father released a statement.
I haven't heard from his mom yet. You know, his dad was trying to, you know, hopefully clean up, you know what I mean, some of the things that's going on. But you know, the sad part about it is, man, like a lot of, you know, Philly compared to a lot of the other cities is a lot of these young boys and a lot of these guys, they actually, you know, they read the Quran and they know the laws, you know what I mean? Like, so it's like, it's kind of strange to think about it because they know right from wrong. But it's still, you know, they're more drawn to the violence. You know what I mean? So it's a sad situation, as you said. But you know what I mean? A lot of people like try to undermine these young cats' beef. But I can't. You know, to me, it's no different from what's going on overseas. You know, you turn on the television, it's war constantly. You know what I mean? Internationally. The Middle East, you go to Europe, there's war in Africa. So, you know, it's no different, I feel like, in the streets. It might be petty beef to some, but to these kids, war is war. To me, a man that kills one person is no different from a man that kills 20.
Good point. Deeds, if you're listening and if you can send me the father's statement, maybe I should read it to be fair. Again, I think that the father, I mean, I'm just giving him the benefit of the doubt. You know, he was letting his son grow because, as we've been saying, it was, still is, a very culturally proud city. His father probably just gave him some time to grow, and maybe he got sucked into the streets and, you know, met his demise, you know, trying to go viral. What else do we need to know about the area that you came from? Anything in North Philly with regards to crime, murders? I mean, I pay attention to what's going on with the different units that the police come up with to try and fight crime. What year did they make wearing masks illegal in Philly? Let me Google that whilst you're talking.
I believe that was it might have been 2 years ago.
Okay.
But Star, man, I want to tell you, man, I used to do ride share. So during the beginning of the pandemic, you know, took a couple trips down. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Kensington Ave.
Absolutely.
Kensington Ave is zombie land. That's you know, I took a trip down there. It was almost like I went to a third world country. I couldn't believe it was America. You know, I was in it was literally zombie land. It was literally Walking Dead. So a lot of these kids are growing up, they seeing that. And, you know, drugs, you know, fentanyl, you know what I mean? Frank, it's big down there. So a lot of the kids, it's almost like it's a no way out situation. So it's almost like we got to fight our way out.
You said you said you were a Lyft driver or drive, what did you say, drive share?
Yeah, I used to drive Lyft.
Okay.
I did it part time.
Okay. We ever robbed?
No, I was never robbed. No, because I was very cautious out there, so I never got robbed. But I definitely seen a couple things. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I just pulled it up. December the 15th, 2023. Philadelphia's ski mask ban. That's when it went down. Yeah. Violators can be fined up to $250 and up to $2,000 if the mask is worn while committing a crime. Go ahead.
So what it is, they banned it, right? Like if you go into like a public location, yeah. So they're gonna get you like that. But out in the public, you know what I mean? It's hard to they can't really ban that because, you know what I mean? Like a lot of these kids are uncatchable. Yeah. So a lot of the crimes is still gonna happen because, you know what I mean, the ski mask was a new wave. So yeah, man, Philly Philly is probably one of the most depressing cities in the country right now, to be completely honest.
I would say Detroit and Chicago. Those areas are more depressing. I think there's still hope for Philadelphia because I do know that corporations are buying land in Philadelphia. So there is a big gentrification swing, going on there. But hey, man, I appreciate.
You might be right.
I don't know. I appreciate you calling in. Any thoughts on the showrunner? Will migrants force blacks to work together? You're from Philly. Any thoughts on that?
No, man, I'm not. I'm gonna be completely honest. I'm not from Philly. I'm a Tedder.
Okay.
I'm a Jamaican.
All right.
Yeah. So.
When I say blacks, I'm including everybody tonight, man.
Okay.
The migrants.
Respect.
Are they forcing black people as a whole to come together in America? But if you're not up to speed, don't worry about it. Hey, man, good to talk to you, Rory. I'm sorry.
I just want to say this, man, as pertaining to that. I want to say, like, black people, like, especially FBA. Okay. I was just looking for hopefully more of a national pride. You know what I mean? Like, is a lack of nationality out here.
Okay.
The feathers are repping their flag. Me, I'm I made it to be a feather. I would never, leave my Jamaican flag, but right. I would love to see more black people, represent,
Okay. Good to talk to you, Rory.
Yeah, salute, star. You're the greatest.
Thank you, man. Thank you,
salute.
Sir. Take care. All right. Guys, sit tight on the phones. I see you. Deeds, I got your text message. Thank you very much. Terrence, I got your donation. Philly and Chicago Negroes need to be replaced. I'm not trying to hear nothing from Chicago people. I mean, all that goddamn killing that they're doing just out of control. Yes, he did make a song about hitting an op while he worked at McDonald's drive-thru. Yeah. YBC Dul. Mm-hmm. And Janice, I got your donation. Thank you very much. Amir, peace. I got your donation, Amir. Jerome, thank you very much. Are you tapping in? So where is Jerome? Area code 224. Jerome, sit tight. You're up next. Sit tight, please. Okay. Guys, let me also say this with regards to your comments on the rebroadcast in the comments section. Please try not to use the F-bomb. I have two people that handle the channel for me, so to speak, and I have to follow their lead. They're very in tune with the algorithms and things like that. So am I, but with regards to that F-bomb, you got to be careful in the comments section. You can do all that in the live chat, but when you post comments, and then if you go back and see your comment is not there, it's more than likely because you were using profanity. Okay, I'm giving you a heads up now. Area code 224, is that Jerome? Good evening, Jerome.
Yo, what's going on, Star?
Hey, man, how are you?
Man, I'm good.
Okay.
I was calling in because, we have another violent slaying amongst the Black community, African-American community, hip-hop community. Mm-hmm. And it's really sad that we have to continue to discuss this it seems like every week now. There are, hip hop beefs or rap beefs or hood beefs, and that is ending in someone getting, losing their life violently.
Yeah.
And I'm very, very surprised, being that hip hop just celebrated 50 years. 50 years. And, there are 5 elements of hip hop. And, we always have people that are part of the hip hop community saying, that today's music is not real hip hop. Mm-hmm. Why hasn't there been some sort of a coalition between the biggest artists, letting the younger generation know, hey, listen here, man, or, young lady, if you're thinking that you're going to get on making music that's digging up dead people, or you're threatening to shoot someone's mother, mm-hmm. or you're, trying to kidnap someone's baby, or you're talking about drowning people, guess what? We're not letting you in.
Can I respond?
Not letting you in because...
Can I respond?
Of course.
Okay. I think that hip hop in its essence died years ago, maybe even close to 20 years ago. Hip hop, we have rap music now. We have the genre of rap music, and they call it hip hop because of the corporations that need to index, black art, if you will. Just like once upon a time, they used to call the Billboard charts the black music charts. I used to work at record labels. It's really, really deep like that. But now with regards to the older guard that you mentioned, I have to be very honest. A lot of them fumbled the bags. They're trying to pay mortgages now. A lot of them were drugged out, smoked out, if you will. So they're not going to stand up and take a stance. A lot of them didn't do some of the things that, looking back, they wish they had done. I'm not trying to, kick dirt on them, but it just, the genre moved so fast. Even publishing magazines. I remember people used to hate on Dave Mays, who, started the Source magazine along with John Schechter and others. But they didn't put together their own Source magazine. So I think there's a big disconnect there with regards to the older guard and what we have now, which is a sea of insanity. If we can just go to this young man real quick, YBC Dul. Did you see him, what he was saying and how he was acting? It just, to me, that was very anti-Philly. I mean, I know he's from Philadelphia, born and raised, but that's not the traditional behavior of someone who came out of Philly. You up to speed on him or no?
I'm not really up to speed on him, but I do know that the hip hop culture, the black culture in Philadelphia has always been strong.
Yeah.
But one thing about it is that Philly, at the same time, Philadelphia has always been the trap. We don't want to get it messed up and say that Philadelphia has not been violent and, that this is some dangerous turn that's been taken. Philadelphia has always been dangerous.
Right.
And it's always been violent. And it's always reflected. If you listen to The Roots, if you listen to Freeway, if you listen to Benny Siegel, if you listen to Petey Crack, all of their music describes what's going on in the dirty streets of Philly. And that's cool. But guess what? These guys are still alive. When Jada Kiss and Benny Siegel were beefing, these are some really, really tough dudes on and off wax. Mm-hmm. They're still alive.
Yeah.
These kids are doing things that we've never really seen before. I know you have a lot of callers on the line, so I don't just really want to run out my time.
No. I mean,
I really want to speak
what you're saying makes a lot of sense. I'll give you time to address the showrunner if that's what you want to do. What you're saying makes a lot of sense, but it's kind of sad, and I'll let you finish up on this part, to see, Philadelphia, and this guy came out of West Philly, YBC Dul. That's the home of the bombing in 1985. So even though he wasn't even born then, he should know the history of what black people collectively in Philadelphia endured at the hands of the law enforcement and the mayor's office. Bomb that goddamn building. No respect for black people. So it strikes me as a total just a mind job to see him, I guess, sucked in by social media and just go down that path of just talking crazy and then reaching his demise. But go ahead, you were saying? I'm just rambling. Pardon me.
Well, I mean, right now, and I'm happy that we're discussing black culture and how it has decreased throughout the years in major black cities. And the headliner really and truly blends brilliantly with this. And the reason why is because we as black people, we don't want to thrive together because there's so much of inbred hatred, right? So what's going on in Aurora, Colorado, when the Venezuelans came and they actually took over forcefully with guns, they actually took over not one, but it's allegedly 3 apartment buildings.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And these were not, they did it with men. So I'm saying this, black people are going to bind together based off the migrants, based off of survival. Because now, literally, and we're going to see this in a couple of months, we're going to have to literally fight for resources. So when that happens and we understand that we're in, some type of, I'm not going to say a race war, but we're in some type of a competition with other people that have not been born here,
right?
And we've been neglected.
Right.
This is what's going to make us come together.
Right. Yeah. That's what my show
man, I
is
appreciate
about.
the time.
Yeah, that's what my show. Hey, man, I appreciate the call. Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, and I'm going to send that 75. Okay.
All right.
I got you. We're going to do some work, man. How does that sound?
Okay. Salute. Okay. Take care. All right. Good call. Guys, I see you on the phones. Sit tight. I want to make sure I'm getting to the donations here. I know a few of you sent donations. I missed them at the top of the live chat. As the old saying goes, art imitates life. But now we've got life, it's twisted. It's twisted. The babies, grandkids, whatever you want to call them, great grandkids, they can see the rappers now acting out with guns, and I don't know, you don't want to censor art, right? But the kids are confused at an earlier stage. That's the difference. They're confused about what's morally right, what's wrong. And before you know it, they reach their demise. The real Rico Mercado, I got you donation. Never forget Star called Raygun a goddess. Raygun, the Australian breakdancer. Salute to the real Rico Mercado. Hey, Sunday. Sunday says salute to the dawn. Thank you, Sunday. Good to hear from you. Hold on. Okay, that fight was from National Harbor Casino. Okay, someone is saying, Star, that fight was not in Las Vegas. Okay. Can you send me a link, sir, to prove what you're saying? You could just be trolling. Either way, the video was thoroughly entertaining. You had some young bull, and he's pow, pow. He's knocking two old, not even old, just two bloated niggas, giving them all sorts of headshots, and dropped both of them. But thank you for your email, sir. Let me see if I can find area code. 510. Good evening. Are you there? Talking about two topics on a Monday night. 510. Yes, no, maybe.
Talking Star.
Hey,
Sir Shy, Oakland, California.
Sir Shy, how are you, man? Good to hear from you.
I'm all right. We start off topic on will migrants force black folks to work together?
That's a
It's
question.
already starting right here on this program.
Come on.
Come on. When we have Odvo and Sunday talking stuff about FBA,
Ooh.
I'm willing to team up with Janet, who's a feminist,
Okay.
or FBJ, and we don't like the same football team. I'll even team up with Rory if it means uniting to get these tethers up out of here. So,
Well, hang on, Sir Shy.
it will work.
Sir Shy. Sunday is born here in the United States. She's not from another country. And she's on the line. Do you want to speak to her? I see her in the queue.
Yeah. I'm put this hole on the line.
Okay, easy. No, don't call names. No name calling. Hold on a second. Or mean. Sunday, are you there? Good evening. I see you in the queue.
Hello?
Sunday, are you there? Good evening.
Yeah. Hey, Star.
Hey, do you want to hold or do you want to talk to Sir Shy? He called in talking spicy and called your name. Do you know who Sir Shy is? He's from Oakland. Yes, Sir Shy?
Yes, sir.
I do not know who that is.
Okay.
But if he wants to have a conversation, he can. But I'm gonna whatever energy he's giving, it's gonna get matched. So.
Oh, yeah, we can match that energy.
As long as we're not shouting, let one another talk. Sir Shy.
No, the only person that was shouting was Little Man. Nobody was shouting with him.
Let's not do that. I think you just had a spirited conversation. You were kind of disrespectful too. Would you agree?
No, I referenced shouting. I didn't say anything about disrespectful.
Okay. All right, Sir Shy, can you get right? Can you get right to it, sir?
No,
because
you're wrong.
I've got other calls. Sunday's right there. You called her name. You know the rules. Okay.
Do you need a pimp? Because I can fly you out to Oakland. You can be one of my hoes.
You're broke.
No, we can make money together.
Go with a broke pimp.
Have you seen? You seen the movie Max Julian, the Mac, right?
You're broke.
I can put you
Let
on.
her respond, Sir Shy.
and
Sir Shy.
E14.
Sir Shy. Let her respond, or I'm got to put you
All
on
right.
mute. Let her respond. Sunday, you have the
All right, go ahead.
You don't feel worth talking to. You feel like a loser. Like that's what I think you are.
Okay. All right. Sunday, I'm going to.
No, I mean, I'll get
I
you.
think you're
I'll
a
get you a
loser. You
Planet
don't have
Fitness.
anything intelligent
Get a Planet
to say.
Fitness membership.
You don't
I'll
have
put you on the
anything
stroll.
intelligent to say.
I can put you on the
Are you gonna
stroll.
fix
All
before
right,
you
Sir,
put
Sir
me on
Shy.
that?
Sir Shy.
First of all,
Sir Shy, you're trying to talk on top of me and talk through me. That's not going to happen. Are you done?
oh, I didn't say nothing.
I got to take other calls. Are you done? Sunday, respond. Are you done? I appreciate you.
Yeah, tell that bitch to bow.
Okay.
Bye, loser. Bye.
All right, Sir Shy.
Shut up, ho.
Sir Shy's now going.
Bye, loser.
Hey, Sunday, how are you? Good to hear you.
Hey, Star.
Hear from you. What's crap? So, we're gonna get you in the machine here. You and I spoke behind the scenes via email. What's going on? Did you want to address the topics? Are you up to speed on a YBC Dul shot and killed this past Friday?
Yeah, I wanted to make a comment about the topic. So
Please.
That's a different generation. That's a Gen Z artist. But I wanted to say that people are unaware of the fact that fame is a drug.
Yeah.
Like it's something that people sniff like cocaine. Everybody wants to get the attention, the spotlight. They're willing to do anything for it, including lose their life. And I feel like with that little kid that died, he's never been touched before. And sometimes when you've never been touched, that's when you're the most reckless.
Right.
I can tell, like, for example, I can tell Florida Boy Jay has never been touched. I can tell that that's why he's so reckless. I can tell that that's why he has such a squealy, loud voice, because he has a small penis.
Jesus.
That's what I can tell about Florida Boy Jay.
Okay.
And if he calls in, I'll definitely tell him that.
Okay. Thank you, Deeds. I got the statement from YBC Dul's father. With regards to the showrunner, Sunday, it's just a question. Will migrants force blacks to work together? And my reasoning for that particular question is, the migrants are coming and more of them are going to come. The Republicans and the Democrats are bringing them in. Let's be clear. And I think that it should, if it can, inspire or force blacks to work together. What say you, Sunday?
I'm going to say no.
Okay.
Honestly, I'm going to say no. And I wanted to bring something intelligent into the conversation, right? We, in adolescence, everybody has their hand at roasting or whatever, and that's all fun and games,
right.
Brings up the views, whatever. But I do have an angle that I want to present from personal experience that
Please.
Nobody has touched on.
Okay.
I lived in Alaska for 4 years, and when I was out there, I got to see firsthand Native Americans receiving all the benefits that people like Janet and other FBAs are wanting, getting stipends monthly, free education, free healthcare, free everything. And the way that they were on self-destruct mode was absolutely devastating. This is my primary reason for being against benefits for FBAs. Everybody thinks free money is great until it destroys you. Okay. You will see less people applying for jobs. You'll see less people contributing to society. You'll see more addiction raised. If you've ever been to Alaska, I'm talking specifically about Fairbanks. I was there because there's a military base there. And so when you go to Alaska, first thing you see when you drive, it doesn't matter what time of year, is natives completely inebriated, passed out in the middle of the road, and it's normal. And these people get a check every month, and the first thing they do is they line up to the liquor store and they drink themselves to death.
Okay.
I used to work at Fairbanks. I used to work at a place called Fairbanks Native Association, where we would take care of natives who were sick on drugs, alcohol, detoxing, whatever. They all got a check. None of them had jobs. This is $2,000, which is what Janet has said on many occasions, and then free food stamps and all this crap.
Okay.
Free is not always good. it can absolutely destroy you. It can destroy your family. Working is good for the soul, and you should work because it will keep you in line. When you don't have to earn what you get, it creates destructive patterns, and it can limit your potential so that you can continue to strive for more. That is my intelligent input into the conversation, because there's a lot of ho, be, you're a ho, like, first of all, I just want to tell your entire audience, there is nothing anyone can say to me that will offend me. I don't care.
Okay.
You can call me a hoe, you can call me old. I don't care. And you know why I don't care? Is because I'm confident in myself. I don't know you people. I don't care to know you people. If you agree with anything that I've said, cool, but you cannot offend me. I don't, first of all, being a hoe is not a bad thing. Yeah. If I was a hoe, I think I would stand on that, but I'm not. I work at a hospital. Unfortunately, if I could be a hoe, that would be great. That'd be more money, fast money. I don't see prostitution and stripping in a negative light like a lot of these shamers do. I support it. I was a stripper. I don't care what y'all call me. Y'all can go F yourself, because I'm speaking facts.
Okay.
I don't care. And all that nonsense that Florida Boy Jay was saying is little dick energy, like, period. You cannot tell me otherwise. I've never seen a man with money in his pocket squeal like a little girl. Never.
Now, hang on, Sunday. I enjoy having these, conversations without name calling and stuff like that. I can't control, how people address one another, but you've come with a certain energy right now. Florida Boy Jay's on the line. Hopefully he can join the conversation and it doesn't go, left. Would you care to let him respond to what you've just said?
He can say whatever he wants, okay, but he's going to be screaming like usual, which is a show of ignorance.
Okay. Florida Boy Jay, you're on the line. Can we try and, approach this in a rational manner? I mean, you always do, I appreciate your energy from time to time, but there's Sunday. She's been calling your name, Florida Boy Jay.
Yeah, man. She know what time it is, dog. I don't understand, why she would get her ass kicked, beat down, drugged through the mud the other night and call in. I don't understand. Maybe it's like some, you get beat by your abuser and instead of leave, you come back to the same house. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand what she has going on, but now she's back here at my front door again, begging for my attention. So what's the issue again? What's the Tether's problem? The new employee of the hospital, the new janitorial employee. I'm tired of it. Hold on, you have time. I'm tired of you when you called in talking about, I work at a hospital. So what? You mop floors at the hospital, and sometimes they let you run the cash register in the cafeteria. We don't care. That's not any type of credentials to stand on after working at the Saucy Dollar and getting tips to spread your butthole and making it wink. We don't need to talk to you, and you're not even qualified to even try to convince to be on our side about getting something that you're not going to be included in.
So let's talk about the word "our." Right? I believe that Star's audience doesn't even know what you look like. Do they know that you have yellow skin and green eyes and that you're not even black? Do they know that you're black face, that you're not even an FBA, and that you're more European than black? Does everybody know that? Have y'all seen what he looks like? You're not even black. You're a fucking coon. You're a fraud. You're not even.
Sunday, you got to watch the F-bomb. Please. Sunday, you got to watch the F-bomb. Watch the F-bomb.
Mammy crashing out.
We did a DNA test. We did a DNA
Tether
test.
Mammy crashing out. Go ahead.
Do a DNA test. Do a DNA test and show them how you're 60% European. Show them how you're from the United Kingdom. You're not no real FBA. You've got green eyes and white skin. Let's talk about those shit locks you got on top of your head just so you can look more black. Let's talk about how you've been dick riding Star for years and
Sunday, you gotta watch the profanity. Sunday, you have
Florida Boy Jay.
Okay, hang on, guys, give me a second. Guys, you have to watch the profanity.
I get it.
You have to watch. Hang on. Everybody, hold on.
Hey, you have no talent.
So
All you
what
do is talk
happened
about
is,
people who have
so what
talent.
happened is you got mad.
Let me
So
tell
what
you the
happened
difference.
is you
Let me
got
tell you the
mad,
difference
and now you
between
got a
you and
crush.
Star.
Hold on. I'm like,
Actually, I'm going to put both of you on the hold for a second. I'm going to put both of you on the hold. I'm going to say it again. You have to watch the language. Florida Boy Jay, I'm going to go to you. And Sunday, when I come back to you, this is your last warning on the language. Your last warning. Florida Boy Jay, go ahead.
Yeah. I never curse. You know, I'm chilling. It's funny. I get it now. She has a crush on me. I get it. This is her 6th time bringing up the color of my eyes. She talks about my skin. She said something about my smile the last show. She keeps referring to what I look like. It's funny because we know Rory likes guys with wigs, and every time he's trying to insult me, he keeps talking about how I look. I just assume that's because he's gay. But because you're a woman, I'm like, oh, this is obvious. You have a crush on me. I get it. And then I cooked you. So I kind of basically curved you, denied you, said you're fat. I told you I can tell you're fat by your voice. It sounds like you hot tickles under your tongue when you talk. I can tell you're fat. You're a high-calorie Heather Mammy that is a janitor that does custodial work in the hospital, and you got cooked. And now you have a crush.
Okay.
This is not a hotline.
Okay.
This is not a speed dating
Florida Boy Jay,
Jay.
I'm going to bring her in, and we have to wrap this up. I have to get back to the show. Hold on a second. All right. Sunday, you're back on the line. No more profanity. I have to enforce it now. No more profanity. Let's finish up. All right, guys?
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. So first of all, I do not like little boys. That's the first thing. If you're under the age of 50, I don't even look at you. You're a fetus. You're a fetus that Star paid to get rid of, but you survived the trash can.
Can you leave me out of it, please? Leave me out of this. How am I in this? Jesus Christ.
That's what happens when somebody can't defend themselves. They always start, Star. Stop calling. Handle your handle, mammy. You had a crush. You got packed out. You got denied. You got curved. Right. We already told you was fat.
Let me make a statement.
In the closet.
Let me stand on business right now.
You lock yourself in the broom closet every day at work because you get hot flashes.
Let me stand on business right now.
Right.
Hold on, wait.
Okay.
Hold on, wait. Let me stand on business right now. Let me stand on business. First of all, everything that I'm saying can be verified. I was on Kendra G 1 year ago before I ever called into Star, and I said 50 plus, looking for a dude 50 plus. That was 1 year ago. That's the first thing. So that's not a new standard. You are a child. I don't look at little boys. You got roommates. You live in your mother's basement.
Okay.
I do not check for little boys. Secondly, if you want to see
Sunday. Okay, he's not on the line. I want to finish up with you, then I will bring him back in. Finish up with the showrunner because you were speaking your piece, and I like where you were going, even if I don't necessarily agree with every point. You were flowing. Can you finish up the question?
Yes.
For those just now joining us, will migrants force blacks to work together in the U.S.? Please finish up.
I sincerely, from an intelligent viewpoint, from my life experience, I sincerely feel, because this is not coming from a hateful place. Everybody thinks there's like divisivism and animosity. There isn't any on my end. I genuinely feel that a part of the functionality for systematic oppression, which is undeniable, is to be divided. So anything where we would be united would be against the agenda. And so and when I say the agenda, I'm talking about from supremacists. It serves capitalism that people and minorities are divided. So if you've got tethers, a name tethers and FBAs, and there's all these words to separate and divide, it will serve the agenda. And I do not think that migrants coming here is going to change anything. I think that everything is going to remain the same. The only reason why I think that migrants and tethers have more success is because they are completely blind to the agenda. They're like, okay, well, I'll be that token person. They ignore racism. Whereas an American, it boils our blood. It bothers us so much that we can't sit in those environments.
And for those who don't know, you were born here. You didn't come over, and and have to.
I was born in Baltimore.
Okay.
I was born in Baltimore in 1989.
Be more.
And my mother is a FBA. Well, she's a half FBA like you, Star. She's half white like you and half black, but she's FBA.
Okay.
And my father is from South America.
Okay.
So yeah, I was born in Baltimore, in the ghetto. So I know exactly what it is.
All right.
But for me, I was raised with, and I would say, an immigrant mentality, absolutely, because the way that my mother's side is different. Yeah.
Great talking to you. I appreciate you adding to this conversation. We'll talk again.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Sunday.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye now. Okay. I'm going to finish up at Florida Boy J. Florida Boy J, you still there, sir? Hold on a second. FBJ.
Yeah, of course I'm still here. We're not going to let a fat anchor baby tether who's sucking on Chick-fil-A mayonnaise packets call on the line with disinformation talking about, I live in some basement, I live with roommates. We all know I don't live with roommates.
Right.
Those are known facts. Let's lay down facts. Everybody knows what I look like. I don't run, I don't hide. It's people who calling on the Starport on a regular who's met me in person, who told you I'm real. It's nothing to hide. I'm not like a fat mayonnaise sucking tether calling on the line trying to troll. Obviously she's new to this. Obviously this is her first day at school, and then she talks about why FBAs don't deserve because we haven't earned it. We're getting it from Arlene. We're getting it from generations of despair, generations of government setbacks, people sabotaging, COINTELPRO.
Can I ask you to pull back on the name calling? She's gone now. Just let's just finish it up.
No, I'm only addressing her point. I'm addressing her disinformation.
Just
and
address
the trolling,
the point minus the name calling. We've
been having. This is the point.
Good conversation.
This is the point.
Go ahead.
This is the point. She can't sit up here, like I said, America has kicked out reparations and money out to other nations, other nationalities, Japanese, Asian Americans, Jewish communities, Hispanic communities, all these people like Native Americans, they've all get checked. Even till this day, money goes back to Israel. African Americans, ADOS, FBAs deserve our bread. We deserve what we should get.
Okay.
She can't even name 5 people from her home country that are black lineage, wherever they want to call themselves, who have liberated or became public figures or people who have advanced that culture of melanated people. So I don't ever want to think that we're even qualified to explain our answer to such a low-graded janitorial service lady who works in a hospital sucking on mayonnaise packets.
Okay, Florida Boy J, you did good. You did good.
Let's keep it real.
All right. You did good. Hey, man, good to talk to you again. Salute. Florida Boy J.
Cool. Yeah, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Okay, Florida Boy J, tap back in. Folks, we do not charge people to get on the line, but I got a bunch of calls here. If you want to support the machine, it'll help me bring your call in faster so you don't have to be on hold. I'm just being honest, as they used to say back in Harlem in the 80s. I'm just being honest. Big IKEA, I got your other donation. Thank you so much. Relly Riches. Okay, are you tapping in Relly Riches? Hold on a second. Okay. He says Philly rappers are the most out-of-pocket rappers. What do you mean by that, most out-of-pocket? I've always loved the fact that Philadelphia R&B and rappers have always been very unique. And that's why it's kind of heartbreaking to see, this young man who's now deceased, YBC Dul. It's kind of heartbreaking to see him follow behind drill rappers from other places. I mean, you can be influenced, but the heightened ignorance. Philly's one of those places where, you can get chin checked fast. And sometimes people do ask you, hey, yo, when's the last time you've been punched in the mouth? But he's gone now. And I do have the statement from his father, to be fair. He says, this was an IG post. Hey, all of my son's friends, family, etc. I am Dul's father. I was handed over all my baby boy's belongings this morning by his close friends, and I wanted to clear up any confusion. My son, Abdul Vicks, murderer, yesterday afternoon, broad daylight. It's a very lengthy post here. He's just clarifying how he was killed as opposed to the rumors. Give me a second, guys. I want to just cut through some of this here. I'm standing on that. He says he thinks that his son was targeted, clearly, you know. Okay, he spoke to his son the night before. Okay, this all went down. Yeah, you see, I think he was in his son's life, you know, but he was at that age where, you know, sometimes you just get sucked in. And this is not to try and, you know, cape for the young man. He's 25 years of age, so we're not talking a teenager. I'm just going to assume that his father was a man who was knowledgeable, had wisdom, conscious, if you will, and hey, man, you know, I'm sure he didn't, you know, like what was going on, but he released a statement, and it's pretty in tune with from what I can see, a father who was concerned about the well-being of his son. Okay, Relly Richards got your donation. Thank you for tapping in. Clay, I got your donation. Clay, I can't click on links right now. What are you saying, sir? Can you just shoot me some information? Trevor, I got your donation. Trevor says, on vacation in Turks, watching the show, OG. Thank you very much for your continued support. Marisol, I got your donation. How are you? Are you calling in? Oh, no, she just wants to remind me that I am a loser and a piece of shit. Thank you, Marisol. At least she spends money. Maybe in area code 347. Good evening, 347. You have to speed on the topics.
Hey, how you doing? This is Mr. Stacks.
Hey, man, how are you? It's cracking.
I'm good, Mr. Starr. You know, I appreciate you. You've been a pinnacle and voice of a uninformed nation.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Thank you, man. Where do you want to start, sir?
I'm from Harlem, man.
Okay.
New York City. I used to listen to you way back when I was in high school. I'm 43 next week.
I started doing radio in March of 2000, not in the 90s. Some people,
not in the 90s, but like 2000, we went Hot 97 with Buck Wild.
Right. But people say, I listened to you in the 90s. I was on the radio in the 90s. I just had to clarify that.
You was the man, man. You was the man. Yo, I love you, man. You kept it real. You were the voice for the people who can't talk, you know? Okay. So you kept it real.
All right, well, sir, let's get to the topic. Let's get to the topic, sir.
I'm sorry. I got to give you a props, man.
No, it's okay.
It's an honor.
Let's get to the topic.
But one thing, man, I listened to the conversation between Sunday and Homeboy there.
Yeah.
And the one thing is that they're both right. One is, Sunday's talking about enabling. We are, by giving people all these subsidies, we're enabling some bullshit. Okay. Because at the end
you have to watch the language, sir. Please, no profanity, please.
I'm sorry.
Please.
I'm saying we're enabling them to continue the people to be dependent upon the government.
Okay.
And that's not helping us. If we ain't use the money in an adequate situation where we can uplift our community, then she's correct that it's going to end up being like enabling where we're just going to keep having people doing the same nonsense. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, we still have to get reparations for what was given, what we did, and what we've been subjected to over the past of our history.
Right.
But we got to realize that's not going to happen anytime soon. So we either going to have to grab the bull by the horns and make our own identity and our own stake in this land. And rather than sit here fighting and going about talking about we got to go stand up, come together. Yeah, we need to come together. Maybe we need to do something different. Maybe we need to embrace the migrants and make them part of our situation.
Let me jump in here for a second. You see, part of this show being the objective perspective is allowing people to talk. And I wanted Sunday to talk, and she did a great job. But now, I've never been to Alaska. She says she lived there, so she has firsthand knowledge of the Alaskans, Eskimos, whatever whatever umbrella they fall under. To be by way of science, the African American, foundational Black American, whatever you want to consider yourselves to be, genetically is stronger than those Alaskans. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, in some respects, but at the same time.
So all that falling victim to alcohol and being strung out and dependent, maybe that's their problem. Who's to say that's going to happen to blacks? Give us what you owe us. It's not a handout. Let us worry about whether we start smoking crack or sniffing coke or injecting heroin. It's not your business. But go ahead.
But there's another thing that's sure. We might not do the crack thing and drinking thing, but we might spend our money frivolously and on like jewelry and cars that doesn't appreciate.
But that's nobody's business. White people are not the black people's parents here in America. It's not your business.
Not necessarily.
Not your business.
But think about it like this. Think of it like this. The baby boomers, right? Most of the generation back then, when my father's generation, they don't want to pass on the torch. They want to keep the torch to themselves. So basically, they're out there saying, well, you need to go do it yourself. We said, well, let me get over it. Let me get that step to get to the next level. Because when you get help, it's supposed to get you to the next level. Now, it's a difference between having help and enabling. When you enable somebody, you got them keep doing the nonsense over and over again. They never grow. But when you help somebody, it's like a step to get to the next level.
Your father was a baby boomer. Your father, you said?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So am I. I was born in 1964. But now, to be fair, and how old are you? How old are you?
I'm 43.
Okay. To be fair,
but you might be the last era of the baby boomers. Like he's like 50s and 40s.
I'm 60, sir. But now here's the thing. With regards to children, I don't have any biological kids that I'm claiming. Some claim me, but that's, I never paid child support. I ain't giving you nothing. I want to see you earn it the way I earned it. As time goes on, it gets easier for each generation. You have more opportunities and other things that the generations before you did not. So you saying your father didn't pass on a torch for you, right? That's what you said?
I'm not saying, let's say like this.
That's what you said, sir.
I did say.
That's what you said. What was your father? Hang on. Let's talk. What was your father supposed to give you? The house that he paid a 30-year mortgage on? What was your father supposed to give you, sir?
I'm gonna give you I'll give you a case of point. Please. So I've been going through a situation, right? And you have a business, like a hall, like a club, right? A club. Let's say hypothetically a club. And I said, hey Pops, let me opportunity to make some money. I got a little thing I'm trying to put together. Let me rent the club out to you. No, I don't want to do it. Why not? But you do it to other people. I don't trust you. Or something like that. I want you to go out here and do it yourself. Like things like that. I'm not asking you to give me nothing to just go something. If I'm trying to make an identity and something for myself, right, and I ask you to help me, assist me to get to that next level, like the help to step thing, then I think you should be as a parent or somebody to help you get to that point. I'm not asking you to give me no money. I'm trying to make a way out of for my own. And I see that a lot of times with a lot of, not just you.
Are you married, sir? Do you have children? Are you divorced?
No, I didn't have kids. No, I'm not kidding. I have no divorce. Okay. I was constantly, I'm just saying, I have dealt with the COVID thing. I had come through a COVID. I was in a coma before 4 weeks. I walked, I did a lot of things to get back to where I'm at.
Okay.
And the thing is that it's just, when you see, we don't help each other. We don't come together and just try to push each other to the next level. We always so quick to say, well, be disrespectful to each other, not hear each other, and have a rational conversation and understand each other. You know what I'm saying?
But let's go a little deeper. Pause. Let's go a little deeper. Why did your father, is he still alive, your father?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Has he learned to trust you, or does he still stand on business and say you're not worth trusting?
Don't trust nobody. You see what I'm saying? He's from old school way. He's from Harlem, born and raised.
Is he with your mother, sir? Let's take it slow. You're going too fast.
Divorce. I'm sorry.
He was married to your mother.
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
For how many years or weeks? How long was you married to?
Like 3 years. I was divorced. I got divorced when I was 3.
Sir, your father's hang on. Your father's a baby boomer like myself. He married your mother for 3 years.
Yeah.
Right? Did he do the math? You see, we have to be honest with ourselves. Did he do the math on your mother and then you? You know, sometimes the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. Did he do the math and say this was a bad move? There's no ROI here, return on investment, and let me just cut my losses?
Well, it's like it goes both ways because he's a musician. He's in a jazz era. So he was doing a lot of, you know, back in the day when they were going around doing. And then he was a little bit out there playing the streets and kind of, you know how that go. It's like, you know, he's out here messing with women and then that became a whole dynamic.
Your father was a Harlem player, sir. And he
you already know.
He acquired a club. What have you acquired on your own?
Well, I've done a lot, but like I said,
No. What have you acquired? Your father?
Well,
owned?
Like I said, I've acquired things. I haven't gone to the level. I've lived in New York, so you know, damn near buying a brownstone house in New York is damn near possible. Got $1 million or 10% of $1 million. You know how that go. So it's not like you acquired got my own apartment.
Sir,
I'm not asking for money.
Well, listen, I was managing 2 buildings on 152nd Street in my early 20s. Have you ever owned a home, sir? You're in your late your late 40s?
I'm not in my late 40s. I'm like early 40s. I just turned 43, so I'm in my early 40s. But like I was living in Atlanta for a while. I used to run a studio out there doing music and stuff, and I do media.
Okay.
So I got my own media company. You know, I shoot videos and work.
Do you still own the home, or did you lose it?
Well, through the financial reasons and stuff like that, and like
you lost it.
To relocate.
You lost
because of health reasons.
Sir, you lost the home.
Yeah, no, I got for health reasons.
You lost the home.
Yeah. But not home like I lost the home. I was health. I got sick.
You got sick.
You know what I'm saying?
You lost the home, sir. I'm not trying to clown you. I'm just trying to get to the point here.
Yeah.
You lost the home. You didn't do that reverse mortgage thing. You lost.
No, it was like I had to get rid of that and liquidate stuff because I actually ended up relocating, come back home because I was sick and I tried to get some money. You know what I'm saying? All right. So
okay.
I don't want to go too much up into my business like that.
I'm sure you don't, but the bottom line is your father's still alive, yes?
Yeah, of course.
And he still ain't giving you the club. He's my age.
I'm saying I don't want the club. Because it was basically,
well, you're not getting it, sir. Let's whoa. Let's keep it G. Your father is a Harlem nigga. Get money, nigga.
You might know who he is. You might know who he is.
That don't matter, sir. You're not getting the club. Go ahead and finish up, please. Go ahead and finish up.
It's not happening. But it's like I don't want the club though. That's the thing.
Okay.
I don't want the club. I just want a night to just throw, make a little cash over there.
No, sir. No, sir.
Throw a little party.
No, sir. No, sir.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? Opportunity to make money. It's like, if you got.
I appreciate the call, sir. I got to take other calls. Got to go, man. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, sir.
No problem, bro.
I want you folks to talk. Guys, showrunner, youtube.com/at 6th floor 33 in my community section. That's a great book. I'm waiting on my copy now. And you guys can order a copy. Okay. And any other sponsors who want to call in tonight, please do send me an email. Right now we got www.stacyglore.com. Okay. Please check out Stacy's platform. Tell her I sent you. My Squirrel Party YouTube channel. Folks, if you're not subscribed to the channel, just go check out the community section. I've started taking close-up pictures of the squirrel houses, One of them is called the Trap House. The other one is the Ocean View. The other one is Seaside Projects. And today I put one of the pictures of the organic carrots and the blackberries that I give them once a week and other things I'm going to be posting there. Give me a second. Jace, are you out there? Do you want to tap in, promote your platform this evening? Glamour, are you out there? Anybody who wants to call in, just shoot me an email. Skylar Saunders, Camille, Emanuele. I want to make sure I promote my sponsors here. Maurice from Hudson Tubs. Feel free to call in, all right? Lance, I got your donation. Yeah, Lance, I was just asking. I mean, Mano and I, I haven't seen him in years. I know a lot of people from his camp and team, but I was just curious as to what he's doing up on Vlad TV, talking about, his ex-girlfriend and who shot her. I'm not even going to say the guy's names. The guy who he's saying shot her, good guy. He's in prison now, for something that has nothing to do with this crime that Mano's talking about. Why is he talking? I mean, salute to my homie Vlad TV. Vlad got these niggas talking. But is that, I mean, he's been telling this story, so it's not like he hasn't spoken about this, but why does he keep talking about it? That's my question. Is he trying to put salt in the wound? I'm just curious, I'm just curious. Hold a second. Okay, so someone did send me the link to the brawl. Okay. Thank you for the clarification. The fight was not in Las Vegas. Oh, damn. He's slugging the hell out of these two OGs. Damn, did he just hit one of the mammies? Blood all over the floor. Good God Almighty, got one of these old niggas leaking. Let me put this in the live chat and see if the troll babies know what I'm talking about here. Guys, sit tight on the phones. Sit tight. I'm coming there shortly. Troll babies, have you seen this fight? Pure nigga shit. And I love it. Oh my goodness. Okay, so this person is saying that the fight was from the National Harbor Casino in Oxon Hill, Maryland, not Vegas. Well, who is the nigga that's doing? Well, don't say his name, but what's the backstory? Sheesh. Who's tapping in? Area code 678. Good evening. We're talking about a now deceased drill rapper out of Philly, YBC Dul. You up to speed? 678.
Yeah. I know. Yeah, I heard about it. That he dig up his house grave, and this is a bunch of OD stuff these young dudes doing, man. It's ridiculous. Whether it's in Philly, whether it's in the Bronx, whether it's in Chicago, it's just this stuff got to stop. My thing is, we're the older generation now. We're the quote unquote big homies at.
Can I ask how old are you, sir? How old are you? How old are you, sir?
I'm 32. Okay. I'm 32.
Okay, the older generation failed the younger generation, so let's leave them out of it. Okay, never mind them old niggas who are still out.
I'm a 90s baby.
Okay. Well,
I'm a 90s baby.
Okay, you asked a question.
No, the 80s.
I'm just responding, sir. Let's have a conversation. Never mind them old niggas who are still out there in their 60s doing the old school tours. God bless them, but no, they're not going to speak up. And to your statement, no, sir, it's not going to stop. But go ahead.
Yeah, well, you're talking about the 60s. I'm talking about the 80s. But the 80s, they were the one that messed it up. But long story short, it's real unfortunate, and hopefully this stop. The cycle of these young dudes out here, going crazy, got to stop. I also want to touch upon that topic of the migrate.
Well, hang on a second, sir. I like where you're coming from, and I'm not saying I'm right, but would a purge be a better option or a cleansing of sorts? I mean, when I released my first book, I wrote about a black civil war, and other people have spoken about that, if you will. The blacks versus the niggers. So might a purge of some sort be a better option than saying, yo, this is crazy. This has got to stop.
Well, you got to understand, most of these young kids that be acting out, let's be real. They come from single parenting. They come from that mother that don't like them, that don't give a fuck about them, don't give an F.
Sir, you use the F-bomb one more time, you are out of here. This is not the place where you call and use that language. Come on, man.
I didn't mean to say that. That's why I said F. I said F. I didn't mean to say the actual F word. But yeah, a lot of these youngins, they come from that single parent, and mainly the mom, where the mom don't care about them, just putting whatever they in their brain, like, because the teacher's telling them they ain't no good, don't mean you should tell them that they ain't no good. As a parent, you should, just gotta nurture your kid, just take your kid away from that type of environment where it's, wild and reckless. But, I really want to touch up on that migraine.
I want to respond to what you said, and then I'll let you get to
my bad. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
I apologize.
I want to respond to what you said, and then I will let you finish up, and I'll give you the last word. Do you have a black mother, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Okay. Why is it such an attack, such a hatred for single black mothers? Why? Hang on. See, I can't say that they are the problem. No matter how much I hear other people, and maybe the stats say different, I'm from the suburbs of New Jersey. I have seen white boys and white girls come from two-parent households, and they are demonic, dangerous, and destructive killers.
And privileged.
Killers. Mass murderers. Is the problem really black single mothers?
No, not all. Because it's kids out here that's raised by only their fathers, and the fathers can't even guide them the right way. So I ain't gonna put too much on the mothers, but I'll say this: a lot of these mothers do want to act like a slave master to their kids. Which makes the kids angry, and then the kids take his anger out on the streets, out on people on the streets or in school. Okay. It's like a little cycle that goes on.
Well, I want you to stand on what you said. I'm not saying wrong, but I just want you to stand on what you said. I have to at least ask the question. But let's go to the showrunner you want to speak about. Will migrants force black people in America to work together? That's my question, sir.
No. I don't, back then when we didn't know any better, I'm sure we used to feel sorry for them, but not anymore. These dudes getting the red carpet treatment, like they doing good. So there's no point of us black people trying to work together with them. It's that's dead. And I've been saying this for the longest, that black and brown is dead. Like, no more of that. And, if anybody got a problem with it, they can, answer to me. It is what it is. I'm trying to dead that.
Okay.
I want to be the one to dead that. I'm in the East Coast right now. I'm in New Jersey. And I'm trying to dead that.
Okay. I appreciate the call, man.
That's just what it is.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Thank you, man. Salute.
Area code 772. Please watch the language. Please. We're having a good conversation. Area code 772. What do you want to chime in?
All right. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Good evening. How are you?
Pretty good. All right. First thing I want to say is I want to say much respect to you. I appreciate everything that you do as far as letting people know about the knowledge and everything.
Okay.
I want to speak about the YBC Dul situation.
Yeah. Well, the situation has been handled, sir. We're smoking on his pack. Let's be clear. Been handled.
I got you.
Go ahead.
First thing I want to say is I realize, even though I know they call him Mr. Disrespectful and he's done a lot of negative things, I just want to say I feel like there's a little bit of good in everybody. And what I mean by that is not to discredit the negative things that he has done, but to realize that a person even, I feel like, develop that type of mindset of being a menace like that, there's a reason for that. There's a starting point to that. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So whoever off his homies or however he grew up, the hatred that he might have had in his home, from his home growing up, I feel like these are the results of those negative things that he might have grew up with, as far as especially being in the black community and me being black African American myself. I can attest and realize that I feel like the homes play a bigger part than most people realize. A lot of people say that, oh, you know, you grew up around the gang and you're following these group of people and the streets influence you.
Okay.
And I feel like, yes, the streets do influence you, but I feel like even if you don't grow up in a violent home where you're being, how do I say this? Where you're being pushed to do violent things, I feel like you could have you never got traumatized, you never got hurt by your family or nothing physically, but you could have grew up a certain type of way that it influenced you in a negative way to lead you down that path in the first place, to even be around the wrong people to get in the gang. You see what I'm saying?
I hear you. I'm listening.
And that's the one thing I want to touch on. It's another thing I want to say.
Well, hang on. I want to stay on that for a second. Can I ask, how old are you?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. You said how old?
How old are you, sir?
23.
Okay.
23, sir.
Okay. Now, I don't know this young man's background. We're just going by what we have. I'm giving his father the benefit of the doubt. His father released a statement right after he was killed. I don't know anything about his mother. If anybody has a statement from his mother, please send that over. And we're not trying to clown his death, but I mean, this is what he did this when he was alive. They called him Mr. Disrespectful. You're saying that he may have suffered at home growing up, thus the reason why he went down the path that he chose? I want to be clear.
Absolutely. I would definitely say that, as well as a lot of, especially young black people, that get associated into the gang life.
I see it different, but I'm hearing you out, and you say you're 23. Are you yourself gang affiliated? And you don't have to say if you're in a gang, but are you gang affiliated?
Oh, no, sir, not at all.
Why not?
Because, well, first of all, that's not the life that I particularly wanted to go down. But I also feel like, despite of me not maybe having the best household, I had my own goals in play that I feel like that I wanted to do. And I do feel like having others in my family to an extent that did other things, you know what I'm saying, as far as trying to better themselves as black people, kind of definitely steered me into a direction of wanting to be better myself.
Right.
Is I guess the best way. I mean, I don't know. You know,
no.
It just
good for you.
Yeah.
I just wanted to see if you had that in you. You did a great job. Salute to you. I was just kind of a curveball I threw at you. You know, pause. But okay, go ahead. What else you want to address?
Another thing, I seen somebody in the chat. They made a good point. Where they was talking about Philly and being violent and stuff, and somebody asked, they said, do they feel like Philly will get better as far as with the violence? And me, I feel like Philly has always been a violent place. And I feel like, yes, it is getting worse, especially me having friends, me having certain family members who talk about it. But I also feel like we are just now more so becoming aware of the Philly situation. Like, how do I say it? It's no big surprise to anybody that Philly is a dangerous place. But unlike Chicago, you got to understand, since 2012, 2013, Chicago was being pushed out amongst the media all over America for how violent it was. There was documentaries. There was movies being pushed out. Rappers was talking about it. Celebrities was talking about it. It was no secret. Whereas Philly, yeah, a lot of people know it, but some people don't know it like that. And unless you either grew up in Philly or you aware or you do the research your own self, you become aware of what's going on. I feel like with the YBC Dul situation, rest in peace, I feel like more people are becoming aware of the problem in Philly. You see what I'm saying? And how bad it is. That's like with St. Louis. St. Louis is possibly even worse than Philly. I'm not gonna put a number on it.
Okay.
Baltimore. You see what I'm saying? Different places are just as bad, if not worse, but they're not being pushed out in the media as far as what's going on with the violence as much. So people are unaware of it. You see what I'm saying?
Are you from the Philadelphia area?
Me, myself, I am not from there in particular, but I do have a lot of family members who are from there.
Okay. They're not going to let it get but so bad. I mean, most of the cities, whether they be sanctuary cities or Democrat-ran cities, they do need to let the violence happen, sadly, so that they can gain more control in certain areas, whether it be police or government, things like that. And jail and prison is a business. So as crazy as that may sound, they're gonna let it happen. I mean, they could shut it down a lot more than what they do. Okay, but the difference, well, it's a big difference between Philadelphia, which is the city of brotherly love. It has more gentrification possibilities. Detroit is a hellhole. Chicago is always going to have shootings and killings because of the way it's sectioned off. A lot of people don't have to go from one neighborhood to the next. If you understand what I'm saying. But for reasons of gentrification, at some point they're going to really crack down. Maybe in the sooner than later future, but I truly believe that. But I want you to finish up and have your say so. Go ahead.
I 100% agree with you. And I'm going to go ahead and get up out of it. But the last thing I guess I'll touch on is I just want to say I feel like Philadelphia, because I have been, I feel like Philadelphia is a very beautiful place. I feel like Philadelphia, despite a lot of the negatives and the violence and some of the ugliness that exists in the city, I feel like it is overall a very beautiful place. Okay. Where I feel like there is, I don't want to say opportunity, but I just want to say there's so much of a rich history of Philly, like you mentioned with the Black Mafia. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm.
Culturally proud.
A lot of arts and crafts.
Culturally proud.
What you say, sir?
Culturally proud, Philadelphia.
Yes, absolutely. And I feel like Philadelphia has a lot to offer as far as it being rich in, like I said, arts, it being rich in the food, the culinary.
Right.
It really has a lot, but I just feel like we have to put Philly on the map as far as more of the positivity type stuff, like the positive things, not with like the killing and the gang banging and the murders, like you know what I'm saying? Because there's murders happening in every city. Oh, yeah. You see what I'm saying? But I'm gonna be honest with you, and I don't mean to start any type of feud. I feel like Philly has a lot more to offer than some places. That like Baltimore, you see what I'm saying? Philly has a lot more to offer than a lot of.
I think so too. I think so too. Hey man, I appreciate the call. Thank you for tapping in.
All right.
Yes, sir. Thank you. On the screen, www.hudsontubs.com. And in my community section, there's a banner with regards to bathtub reglazing. And Maurice also does other things with regards to antique stoves, refrigerators, anything that needs to be reglazed, or you can give him a call and he will give you a free consultation. All right. Let's get Janet on the line. Janet, are you there? Good evening, Janet. It's late night Monday.
Hello, Star.
Hey, good to hear from you. You sent me a couple of emails. I'm forgetting what they were, but I did respond, right?
Yes, you did.
Okay.
Yes, you did. Okay. And I was just calling in.
Okay. And you're not Hispanic. You're really FBA?
Yes.
That was one of the back and forths you and I had. You sent me something, and I said, "Well, rumor has it that you're really Hispanic, but you're not, right?"
No, I'm not. I'm black.
Okay.
I'm black. Blackity black.
Blackity black. Okay. Where do you want to start? We're having a discussion about the Philly rapper YBC Dul. He was 25 years of age. Young Bag Chasers is what that stands for those who don't know. He met his demise this past Friday, August the 23rd. He did an interview the day before with Brandon Buckingham on YouTube. It now has over 1 million views. And he was talking hella crazy about he's never been touched. Niggas know what it is. Yada, yada, yada. Where do you want to start, Janet?
First of all, I want to appreciate you for saying the things you said about single black mothers. That is not always their fault.
Thank you.
Come on. You're welcome. Second of all, I want to say that people forget about the secondary environment, which we will call peer pressure.
Okay.
So it sounds like to me that most of these young people, young men that are killing each other and getting killed and digging up graves and all these other things, it sounds like to me that they are crash dummies that believe the lie.
Right. Right.
That's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like to me that these people came from parents or guardians or whoever or family that was trying. They got out in the streets, and people must understand it is a lot of knuckleheads out in the street that want to see your kids not do better than them. Right. It's all right if they do okay, but they can't do better than them. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And they will bring your kids down. These are your kids' so-called friends.
So-called friends.
Because they come from an environment that are inside of a lot of households, whether we want to admit it or not, it's a lot of competition between the siblings that was garnered to them from their parents or their aunties or uncles or whatever. They always put one kid up above the other. So when that kid that's feeling a little down goes out into the world and he receives what he thinks is that love or appreciation from these just demons, they fall for it and they become those demons crash out dummies.
Yeah.
And they start believing the lies. And that's what got them in these graveyards, digging up these graves. And that's what getting them killed out in the middle of the street. So we have to focus on pouring love.
You're forgetting one other group of kids.
Well, tell me.
The biracial manipulative kids who come from suburbia, who was spoiled, who went to public and private schools, who have no excuse. And then when they get into a certain arena, if you will, they then play the blacks against the whites or the Hispanics against the whites, all for their own selfish fulfillment, if you will, and entertainment. Go ahead.
Yes, you're 100% right. But when you say about these suburban kids, and so we'll say
the worst,
other races,
the worst,
right? But see, they might have everything. They might have that house. They might have that pool. They might have all the things that you say that are tangible, that are proactive, tangible here on this earth that we consider a luxury. Right. However, they might not have that love. They might not have that appreciation.
I had too much love, Jan. I had too much love. Too much love, but too many toys, too much. I got no excuse. But I have to be honest. Go ahead.
Yeah, but you also had peer pressure too. You got to look at that.
No. Janet, you didn't hear me. You didn't hear me. I was the one applying the pressure. I didn't feel confused or left out. I took advantage, and I'm man enough to say that. Everybody who gets into something is not necessarily influenced by others. Sometimes you can assess the situation and or people, and you can say, "Hey, you come with me. We're going to do this, or we're going to do that." Or a female, you can say, "Hey, I know how you can get some money." I just wanted to say that. But anyway, let's focus on either the Philly rapper or the showrunner. I don't want to make it about me. I talk about myself all the time.
Let's talk about you. Let's talk about you.
Jen, I talk about myself all the time. I just, if people don't know me by now, then shame on them. But the showrunner and hang on, Janet. Sunday,
okay, go ahead.
Sunday called in earlier. She mentioned you. I'm not sure if you heard it or not, but I mean, I wouldn't let her just take shots. You know that, but she mentioned you. Will migrants force blacks to work together? Are you up to speed on why that even came about? That question?
No, I don't even know why that came about.
Okay, allow me to lay it out again. So, history repeats itself, so most scholars and people say, right? And I referenced that, Black people once upon a time in this country did work together, but for the most part, they were forced to because of certain laws, restrictions, redlining, so on and so forth, Jim Crow laws. and they were stronger and better, and in terms of strength and communities, they were able to pool their resources. And it's just a question that I'm asking based upon the migrants, illegals, if you will, who are here, who are getting vouchers, handouts, startup money, and other things. I'm just asking, will their presence force people like, Chicago, Baltimore, Detroit, and other places to work together? It's a little layered, but it's, I wanted to just propose that and see what people thought about that. That's the basis.
Well, in my opinion, I think people are confusing toxic bonding with unity. It's a whole two different philosophies that go into each one of those.
Come on.
So when we had to work together, when we had to do these things, that was a way of survival. That's a toxic bonding. That's like when going back to with the children and the peers, that's called toxic bonding, not unity. Unity comes from a volunteer place. It comes from a place that's already been held, and they decided to get together to stop a certain thing, not because they had to, because they wanted to. It's a difference from, voluntarily doing anything until you must do anything. And I don't think any group of people should be put in a situation where they must do something because it's a matter of life and death, and it's brought on by a political agenda. That's brought on by a political agenda. And as far as reparations for Black people, for FBA, for people...
Well, hang on, Jen. I don't want to do reparations tonight. We're not doing that conversation. We're talking about the migrants. And if I heard you correctly, you said Black people in the past working together was toxic bonding. Is that what you said? I want to be clear.
I believe that was implemented in that. Yes, I believe that was part of the pie. Yes, it was.
I totally disagree, but I hear you. Totally disagree. You know for a fact that the Black Wall Street, when it was burned down, it was rebuilt. Black people rebuilt it, right? And got back to business. A lot of people don't know that it was rebuilt. And then what happened? How did it fall the second time?
Well, if you believe...
It's one word. It's one word. It's one word. Janet, it's one word. One word.
One word?
It's one word.
I'm trying to look for that word, but I can't find it.
If you don't know it, just say, I don't know, and I'll tell you.
Okay, I don't know.
Integration. That's how it fell the second time. That's how a lot of Black unity, if you will, fell. Integration, sports included. Go ahead.
See, I was going to say political agendas and financial sabotage, but integration could be one of those words.
Okay.
But I really want to speak on what I believe that Black folks should get for reparations. It's just a
Janet, I have to stay on topic. We're not talking about reparations tonight. We've had that conversation. The showrunner says, well, migrants force Blacks to work together. I also pointed out earlier a really great video on Pink Book Lessons YouTube channel. Black Chicago residents are fed up. Illegals taking over Black middle-class neighborhoods. You and I spoke a couple of months back. You disagreed. You disagreed with what I said about there are no Black communities in America. Did you know that not only did Dick Gregory say that, but more recently, Dr. Claude Anderson said that there's no such thing as a Black community anymore? Did you know that?
What? Just because one or two people of notoriety stated something, that doesn't necessarily make it true.
Well,
you understand?
Well, hang on a second.
It doesn't.
Hang on. Jan, never mind Star, because sometimes people get hung up on trying to prove me wrong. Dr. Claude.
No, I'm not trying to prove you wrong, Star.
Hold on. Dr. Claude Henderson is more than just a person of notoriety. And he gave some great breakdowns and facts with regards to why there's no such thing as a Black community anymore. But the question that I was, asking with regards to the showrunner, do you find that the migrants moving into black neighborhoods who are building communities sooner than later. You know, what are your thoughts on these migrants? So you can call them illegals if you like, but they are building communities, yes, in black neighborhoods.
I've been stating this for the last 15 years because this has been going on in California for a long time, to the point where people were actually going up into black folks' houses and kicking them out in the middle of dinner with these gangs affiliations. And it seemed like it was no one paid attention to it. So this been going on for damn near 15 years, as quiet as it's kept. Okay, so here's the thing. Now, in order for black folks to unite against this, it will come from toxic bonding, which at the end of the day, if they are successful in overcoming this plight of the immigrants that to take over them, it still will lead to the same situation afterwards because it's not a bond that is proactive.
Okay.
You understand? It's just a need. It's just like if someone has a need and they have to immediately fulfill that, and they do what they need to do to fulfill that. Once that need is met, it goes back to your usual programming. So my whole thing is, I believe as the black culture, we should look inside ourselves and we should heal ourselves first, because people are going to do what they're going to do, but we need to, as a whole, we need to come to grips. We need to come to reality, who we are. We need to accept.
All right, Jan, listen, I want to stay on topic. I hear what you're saying, but I'm also want to focus on what's, at hand right now. And let me just finish up on this. You are a knowledgeable woman. Dr. Claude Anderson, and you know his bio very well, I'm sure, said that by 2015, blacks will become a permanent underclass. And he gave great breakdowns in his book, Powernomics. You know that book, I'm sure. Any truth to that? Any truth to that? Blacks underclass?
No, because we keep forgetting one thing. Okay. We keep forgetting one thing. The American culture on its whole, is the subculture of its black culture. It's not the other way around. That is why when you come to the political agendas and stuff that we really want moved, and when we move in unity, not in toxic bonding, in unity, we move the needle. No matter what aspect it is, what arena it is in the United States, when we unite, when we have unity in a proactive way, not in a toxic bond.
Janet, I have to take other calls.
We move the needle.
You made your point. Okay. You made your point. I thank you. You made your point.
All right. And thank you again, Star.
Thank you, Janet. Okay. Take care.
Bye-bye.
I let her speak. Okay. Guys, hold on a second. Hey, Cherie, I got your donation. Thank you for tapping in. Malcolm, I got your donation. Thank you for tapping in. Alex, I put this on the screen from time to time. Let me put the link for my squirrel party channel. Hold on a second, guys. Everybody hold on. I'll bring other calls in. I posted a new video yesterday. It's called Conquest of the Planet of the Squirrels. Oh my God. And the little squirrel, Primo. I saw him out there yesterday. Hold on a second. There you go. YouTube.com/@TroyTrain. That's my squirrel party channel. Okay. Okay. Somebody tapping in from area code 915. Good evening. Talking about two topics this evening. Are you there? 915.
What's going on with it? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Yeah, man. Chilling, man. So, yeah, it's kind of messed up, but he got clapped. He was out here doing some crazy shit though.
Let's get him out of here. You see, he can't even understand. Just don't call in with the profanity. Yeah, that's got to be some type of issue. Racial issue. I had a sense he was going to curse. I don't know why. I just felt it. Guys, I got to take 2 more calls and then shut it down because I have to get up early in the morning. 2 more calls. 347, are you there? Good evening. It's Monday night. 2 topics on the table. 347.
Hey, Star, what's going on? What's going on?
You're on a headset, sir. Can you make the adjustments or call back? It's a little hard to hear you.
Yeah, can you hear me?
It's a little better. Go ahead. Please watch the language, sir, or I have to get you out of here. Please watch the language.
No problem. No problem. Shot from Crown Heights happening. But
hey,
listen,
what's up, man? Good to hear from you.
what's going on? I caught you at the tail end. I just left work. Now, to touch on that topic of, I heard you in the beginning. I started the show from the beginning, but will black people be forced to work together?
Well,
right?
migrants force.
Well, right. Well,
blacks
right.
to work together.
And I'm gonna tell you something. I kid you not. Today at work, you hit the nail on the head. That's what I said to myself. Because long story short, all these different migrants coming in of all nationalities, they're gonna force the little bit of American blacks that are left into a corner. Right? The black American, the black American has a...
Your call is going out. Shaw, your call is going in and out. Give me a second, guys. That's Shaw from Brooklyn.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it keeps going in and out. But good, you were saying?
So the black American has about 30 years left in this country.
Oh, wow.
In my opinion. And I say that because all the migrants coming in between the Asians, the Indians, the Hispanics, they're going to take over this country. They're going to outnumber. And again, we're going to be pushed in a corner. Our vote won't matter because the people running this country will be the migrants. So our vote won't be needed. You understand? You're going to start to get the migrants mixing with the few black Americans that are left. You know, because us, especially young ones, they love anything light, bright, and almost white. So these little Hispanic girls and Indian and so forth, that's what's going to mix these colors and cultures together.
Okay.
I give the black American about 30 years, and we'll be obsolete.
Okay. Good to hear
Some of us will move to other countries and so forth, but here in America, yeah, it'll be done.
Good to hear. Good to hear from you, Shaw. Salute. Good to hear from you.
All right, take care. Stay
yes,
up.
Sir. Okay. 289, you are my last caller. Are you there? Good evening. Area code.
Hey, what's up, Star? How's it going?
Hey, how are you, man? It's cracking.
No, I'm not bad, man. I'm just calling. I was thinking about this. I just had a thought that came across my head. That kid that whatever his name is, that rapper there. Do you think some of these kids are latently suicidal?
I have no idea. I'm not a clinical psychologist. I have no medical training. I have no idea.
No, better. Yeah, that's what I was
Do you
thinking
have a
about.
theory?
Anyway.
Do you have a theory? And can I just say for the record, please watch the language. Please watch the language. I have to say that.
Oh, no. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, no, I think that some of these kids, there's a lot of stress and pressure these days of just life. And maybe they don't see a future for themselves and they feel like that's the easiest way out.
There may be some truth to what you're saying. It may have something to do with the drug of choice. I don't know.
That's probably big factors, yeah. Mm-hmm. I would agree.
I don't know what is the aside from weed. I know they take a lot of perks. What else? What type of drugs are you?
And they do everything.
Okay. Well.
Coke is the new weed. They say Coke is the new weed now.
Yeah.
So these kids are doing everything.
And you're saying that could lead them to reckless behavior, or what? I'm not clear.
Yeah, at such a young age, it will mess with their minds. You know what I'm saying? And you know, they're vaping, they're doing all kind of crazy stuff. You know, they got the internet, they're scrolling, they don't read books, they don't write, they don't, you know, train at anything a lot of times.
Zombies.
And the ones that do really shine.
Zombies.
Yeah, they're like zombies. Yeah,
I can see
mine
that.
are zombies.
I can
Followers.
see that. Yeah. I appreciate the call, man. I got to shut it down. Thank you, man.
All right, thank you, Star.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
Thank you. Okay.